When he received the mail from Feimo Emperor, Luo Feng already suspected that it had something to do with Purple Zhong Emperor. Now that he heard that the altar's coordinates were made public, he was even more certain that it was Purple Zhong Emperor. Plus Purple Zhong Emperor's crazy and vengeful personality. Purple Zhong Emperor, I haven't even gone to find you and you've already begun to provoke me. Luo Feng hated within, looks like you're trying to kill me. You have guts. You really have guts, aren't you afraid I'll announce that you have the purple clock? Actually back when Purple Zhong Emperor left the altar and returned to his nest, he understood one point. If the human Yang didn't have any way to deal with him, since he couldn't get the purple clock, he definitely wouldn't give up. There was a high possibility that he would spread the news of Purple Zhong Emperor having the purple clock. Since the human Yang was fanning the flames behind his back, forcing him out and killing him was the most important thing to do. If the human Yang wanted to kill Purple Zhong Emperor and obtain the ancient clock, naturally he wouldn't announce that he had it. However, this way, it would mean that Yang was a bigger threat to him. Anyone who dared to have the ambition to steal his treasures would have to be eliminated earlier. Of the two possibilities, Purple Zhong Emperor had to make the first move. Vicious. You are vicious. I originally wanted to wait until I was stronger before dealing with you. Since you've challenged me now, then let's fight. LuoFeng's killing intent permeated. Kind people get bullied, kind horses get ridden. They all think I'm easy to bully due to my low profile. Then I'll have to find a chance to ruthlessly reveal my methods and kill the ambitious ones. Using battle after battle to deal with the greedy ones was a stupid thing to do. The best method was to rely on a truly bloody and crazy battle record to prove his strength and shock the other warriors. This made the warriors realize that Yang's strength was very strong and dangerous. Naturally, no one dared to mess with Luo Feng. There were no grudges and Luo Feng's strength was very strong. They wouldn't deal with him just because he had treasures. After all, in the universe there were a bunch of emperors with huge amounts of wealth and treasures. As long as one's strength matched, no one dared to provoke him. Feimo Emperor looked at Luo Feng and said softly, Yang, are you alright? Nothing, I was just thinking who's spreading rumors to cause trouble for me. Luo Feng laughed coldly, looks like it's one of my enemies. If there's anything, feel free to summon us. We human experts are not to be trifled with. King Mona also said, you should invite some human experts and other allies of the human faction. At most we'll just go to war. What's there to be afraid of? Luo Feng slightly nodded. King Mona, thank you for telling me this news. Otherwise I wouldn't even know when the enemy came knocking. Luo Feng said. It's not your fault. This news was the most widely spread among the non-humans before reaching our human camp. As soon as I found out, I immediately came to find you, King Mona said. Luo Feng nodded, this is troublesome, I'll go back first and think of a way to deal with it. Go. King Mona reminded, be careful. There are many foreign races in the Outer Realm battlefield. When dealing with those greedy foreign races, you have to be ruthless from the start. Once they feel pain and fear, they won't dare to act recklessly. If you don't feel any pain, I'm afraid more and more outsiders will come in. I understand. Luo Feng nodded. Looks like it's time to start a massacre. Sacrifice Yen continent. That news is true. Some king-ranked experts have already joined forces to forcefully break open the sacrificial tower. They have entered and searched the sacrificial tower. Two members of the mechanical race sat opposite each other. The slightly taller member of the mechanical race said solemnly, they found a complete treasure room made of grade G metal and a broken grade G treasure room in the altar. The treasures were all taken away. A treasure room made of G grade metal? The shorter automaton was shocked. Looks like there really are treasures there. Right now, on the Sacrifice Yen continent, many foreign races are searching for information on that human Yang. Using many methods, however, they haven't found him yet. The tall automaton said hoarsely, the moment they find that human, it'll be time for a massacre. At that time, I'm afraid many other races will join in. Posse I. The shorter automaton grinned. Are you going? Haha, this human's power is weak. He's probably just an emperor punk. How would he have the right to own such treasures? Of course I'll go. The tall automaton said. You and I will work together. We'll split the treasures. Okay. The two automatons formed an alliance. On the Yazi continent, the Regis were very relaxed. Usually when Regis fought against each other they would rarely fight to the death. But this sacrificial pagoda treasure incident caused the Yazi continent to become very lively. Even some Regis from the Star Pagoda, which was even more dangerous, rushed to the Yazi continent. The Sacrifice Yen continent was in a state of panic. Even the marquises of the foreign races began to secretly search for traces of that human Yang. But the strange thing was, they couldn't find him. Cowardly human. Despicable human. He must have been scared away. He must have left the foreign battleground. Many experts on the Sacrifice Yen continent were secretly cursing. On the Sacrifice Yen continent, the most worried and angry person was King Purple Zhong. In the gloomy ice mountains, King Purple Zhong sat cross-legged on an icy rock. His eyes flashed coldly. He murmured, the entire Sacrifice Yen continent has been turned upside down. That human Yang disappeared? Can't find him? Even after being forced into such a state, he still didn't release the news that I have the ancient clock. Looks like this human Yang is very ambitious. He obviously guessed that I was the one who released the news to force him. Logically he should have leaked the news. But he didn't say anything. Looks like he's looking for a chance to kill me and steal my treasure. With this thought, he must have some confidence. Human. King Purple Zhong was actually very afraid of Luo Feng. Because in the altar, LuoFeng's heart palpitating speed, the purple clock, even King Ashing died, but Luo Feng didn't die. LuoFeng's ability to hide without any signs of life. Only when he used his storage ring to collect the metal shard did Luo Feng reveal himself. All these showed LuoFeng's terrifying methods. How could King Purple Zhong dare to underestimate a warrior with so many methods? This time, I've also received close to 100 billion units of wealth. King Purple Zhong thought. I'll prepare well. This human is completely hidden now. He'll definitely go crazy when he does. Whether it was Luo Feng or King Purple Zhong, they were both clear that the moment they walked out of the altar they were enemies. And when King Purple Zhong spread the news, the two of them were even more irreconcilable. Within Army Camp 026, Luo Feng was in a villa swimming pool on a mountain peak. The mountain peak was covered in pure white snow, yet the pool was warm. In an instant, mist rose and Luo Feng laid there leisurely. Yes, while Yanji continent was madly searching for Luo Feng was within the army camp. Actually, back when Luo Feng was dealing with the large amounts of treasures, he was already swiftly rushing back to the army camp. Because he had to trade with the virtual universe company, he naturally had to return to the army camp. Looking for me? Oh. I'm in the army camp, who can do anything to me? Luo Feng laid naked in the pool, very relaxed. Suddenly 3 silhouettes flew over from the distance. The virtual universe company's people are here. Luo Feng's body was covered in a silver armor. Wings grew on his back and he immediately flew out of the water and stood on the snow ground of the mountain peak. How do you do? I'm from the virtual universe company. The leader was a gold-robed three-eyed man. He seemed very elegant and humble. He had received orders from the head of the department. Even the head didn't tell him the identity of the client, only forbidding him from asking. This made the Emperor level three-eyed man curse. The head was also a universe knight, a true upper echelon of the company. Even he was forbidden from asking. It seemed like this matter involved the highest echelon of the virtual universe company. I know. Luo Feng nodded and casually threw over a world ring. After the three-eyed man received it, his undying energy permeated it and began to check. Simultaneously, he made the unowned world ring recognize him as its owner. Simultaneously, he threw a scanning device in. The manual scanning and machine scanning were carried out simultaneously. Simultaneously, he said, as there are too many suspicious items, the quantity is too large, my scanning time may be slightly longer. No rush. Luo Feng stood there. About 3 minutes later. The scanning device had finished long ago. The Emperor level 3-eyed had also finished scanning. The goods are complete. The three-eyed man smiled and looked at Luo Feng. The money has been transferred, I won't disturb you any further. The gold-eyed man was very clear on how shocking the amount of money involved in this transaction was. This was a transaction of over 200 billion mixed elements. To be able to do such a huge transaction, one could tell that this silver-armored and silver-winged warrior had an extraordinary background. The virtual universe company's transactions were the fastest. The other channels were much more troublesome. Some sold to shops, some to individuals, some to other races. Due to the huge amount of transactions involved, some of the other races had to personally rush over to Army Camp 026 to inspect the goods. The entire process took close to a month before everything was processed. Ah. Luo Feng stretched. In the ice and snow land, lying in the mist-filled pool, he revealed a smile. Processing complete, the cash is about 560 billion mixed elements. What a huge sum of money. Maybe to the universe knights, it's just a small amount. However, amongst the Emperor-level Undyings, it's already an incomparably huge amount. I have to think of how to handle this wealth. Should I use it on deities of the world and other aspects to increase my strength? Or should I use it on the 1,000 vine star eating grass and other supporting plant life forms? Or should I buy some automaton weapons? After buying the automaton weapons, even if they're useless, I can sell them in the future. As for raising my own strength and nurturing plant life forms, etc., I won't be able to sell them for money. Luo Feng lay in the pool, thoughts flashing through his mind. 560 billion mixed elements wealth, leaving it on the books was a stupid thing to do. Of course he had to convert it into strength and make himself stronger. Spending 560 billion mixed elements was easy, but how to use it effectively? Lying in the pool, Luo Feng's mind was filled with bewilderment, as there were simply too many treasures in the universe. Just the ones Luo Feng knew were countless, and there were many he didn't even know about. I have a few killing moves right now. Golden Horned Beast, Bug Army, Fire God Origin Crystal Explosion, Space Locking Arm. Luo Feng pondered, they're already strong, I should strengthen them. Bug Army. Luo Feng's eyes gleamed, fiercely standing up in the pool. If I can raise the Bug Clan Queen Elina to the Undying level, an Undying Bug Clan Queen. Then with the Undying Bug Army she would be invincible under the Universe Knights. If I succeed, spending all 560 billion would be worth it. The more he thought, the more excited he got. The Bug Clan Queen could control 10,000 bug soldiers at once, and all of them could unleash origin law attacks. Or she could even control 1,000,000 bug soldiers precisely. Even though she couldn't unleash origin law attacks, she could still hit wherever she wanted. Back then when the Bug Clan Queen controlled 10,000 Undyings, her power was already heaven-defying. If she could control 1,000,000 Undyings? Invincible. The more he thought, the more his eyes gleamed. He couldn't help but say, "I'll go ask Elina." Internal world, Bug Clan Island. Schwa. Black-clothed Luo Feng left the world within the world ring and immediately returned to the sky above the Bug Clan Island within the internal world. Xiao. With her butterfly wings, the absolute beauty Elina flew high into the sky and bowed before Luo Feng. "Master." "Elina." Black-clothed Luo Feng said, "Let me ask you, for you to evolve to the Undying level, how high is the price?" "Master, you?" Elina looked shocked at Luo Feng. "Just speak." Luo Feng said, giving off a rich and imposing vibe. Irina chuckled, her voice crisp and sweet. "Looks like Master has an astonishing amount of wealth. However, Master, it's very difficult for the Zerg Queen to become an immortal. Just the various materials alone cost close to 100 billion mixed element units." "Why?" LuoFeng's eyes gleamed. "Master, let me finish." Elina said, "These are just the external requirements, there's still the internal requirements. My insect race's Queen Mother needs to have an extremely high comprehension of the laws, be it the laws of space or the laws of time. You won't be able to become immortal just by comprehending the laws of metal, wood or any of the other laws. You'll need to have high attainments in the laws of space or time." Luo Feng creased his eyebrows. "Master. The truly intelligent beings in the universe can only become immortal if they have an extremely high understanding of the laws of nature. Just relying on external materials was not enough. Just like humans, no matter what, they had to comprehend at least one of the laws of metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning and light to successfully become eternal. If one did not have any accomplishments in the laws, then no matter how many treasures one had, it would be useless. My bug race queen is the same. As one of the peak races, the bug race's true intelligent life form, the bug race queen, has a very hard time becoming undying, extremely hard. The requirements for comprehension of the laws are extremely high, and the requirements for external material conditions are also extremely high. But the cloud scraper vine you use is different. For example, these plants have very low intelligence. They are more like objects, and do not have any requirements for the laws of the universe. They can evolve by relying on external factors. Once they evolve, the universe will naturally allow them to comprehend the laws of the universe that are similar to their own attributes. However, this sort of thing, it can only happen to a portion of the plant life forms, bug race soldiers, these types of low intelligence life forms. The other truly intelligent life forms all need to have attainments in the origin laws. Elina said, "Right now I've only comprehended the fire laws. However, I'm still very far away from the space laws. No matter how many treasures I have, I won't be able to become undying." Luo Feng felt a sense of disappointment as he heard this, but he understood. Right, like the bug race soldiers that could be mass-produced, they were pure wild and had very low intelligence. And the cloud contact vine and star-eating grass only had basic instincts and simple emotions such as love and hate. After becoming undying, the cloud contact vine could truly communicate with LuoFeng's consciousness for the first time, having a normal mental conversation. The other intelligent life forms, humans, automaton race, demon race, insectoid race, queen mother, golden horn race, natives of the sacrifice flame continent, thunder spring race, rugged bear race. Any race to become undying, the hardest part is law comprehension. Luo Feng sighed within. He had thought wrongly from the start, thinking that the bug race relied on resources to evolve. Those bug race soldiers did indeed rely on resources. However, the bug race's most basic queen was a true higher life form. Their requirements for the origin laws were extremely high. Elina's comprehension of the fire laws was still far from enough. "My origin law comprehension isn't enough. Master, you don't have to prepare the resources and treasures for me." Elina smiled slyly. "However, when I feel that it's about time, I'll have to rely on you." No problem." Luo Feng agreed readily. However, he didn't feel good within. Leaving full of hope, returning with disappointment. Right, the undying bug race queen is invincible under the Knights of the Universe. How could it be so easy to break through? Luo Feng immediately sent a thread of his consciousness into the virtual universe. Virtual universe, Yuxiang Mountain Primal Region, LuoFeng's villa. Luo Feng sat before his desk and looked at the screen, searching for detailed information on the various treasures. Black hole weapon, able to cause the target to instantly become a small black hole. Only a universe Knight strength can survive. Soul-destroying aurora, harvested from a mysterious light storage in a universe secret region. The moment it releases a soul-destroying aurora, even a normal Knight would be injured. Anything below that would die without a doubt. Silent wind weapon, a certain universe secret region has a silent wind belt. Silent wind is the wind, formed from a special substance in the universe secret region. In the depths of the silent wind belt, even a universe Knight's undying body would shatter into powder if they were hit by the wind. This silent wind weapon is made from the surrounding silent wind. Anyone below the universe Knight level will die without a doubt. Kasua weapon, Kasua. It's a special metal named after its discoverer. This metal has an intense destructive effect on an undying body. A Kasua dagger made completely out of this metal, piercing into an emperor-level warrior's body would cause the warrior's body to instantly crumble and die. One weapon after another. These were all custom-made weapons and many of them were made by humans themselves. Luo Feng searched with the goal of death for anything below a Knight. In one breath, he actually found a total of 203 weapons, causing Luo Feng to be dazzled. Oh my god. Anything below a Knight would die without a doubt? Why does it look like the Undyings are so weak and some of the weapons' power can even harm a knight? Luo Feng stared dumbstruck. Of these weapons, 21 were made by the automaton race, 3 were made by humans, and the rest were all made from special materials from the universe. However, no wonder I've never seen anyone use them in the outer region battlefield. This toy, who can afford to use it? If anyone uses it, the moment news spreads, they'll probably be surrounded by countless emperors to steal it. Luo Feng thought as he looked at the prices. These custom-made weapons, the cheapest one was 6 trillion. Most of them were over 10 trillion. This price was enough to make even a knight's heart tremble. Whoever wielded such a weapon would simply be holding a huge treasure trove. How much was the altar treasure trove? A weapon worth over 10 trillion mixed elements. The moment it was revealed, it would naturally make countless Undyings go crazy and fight over it. I can only look. I can't afford it. Luo Feng suddenly felt like a poor man. He could only afford a fraction of these weapons. Just thinking about it, just like the black hole weapon and other technological weapons, they all looked complicated from the outside, and the requirements to create them were very high. And for things like the soul-exterminating Aurora and Silent Wind weapons, one had to go to those dangerous areas to collect Silent Wind and other materials. Moreover, one had to store them well and use them frequently. In those dangerous areas, even universe supremacies could fall. It wasn't surprising that they were expensive. The Bug Clan Queen had no way to become an Undying, and he couldn't afford those weapons that could make anyone invincible below a knight. He could only settle for the next best thing. Luo Feng began to study again and again. Like many of the items in the treasure trove that he couldn't see, and many of the shops in Hongmeng City with LuoFeng's 560 billion savings, he naturally had the right to enter some of the more important areas of the shops. These areas were often places where the knights went to buy treasures. In the treasure trove regarding the 3rd level of deities of the world, I only found 3 materials. However, in the many shops in Hongmeng City I actually found 18, almost all of them. However, it's really expensive. To completely train deities of the world to completion is too difficult. Through the internet access and studying the treasures of the many shops in Hongmeng City, after spending over a month, Luo Feng finally made his final decision. He had no choice but to be cautious. He was able to get 560 billion this time, but who knew how long he would have to wait for the next time. Spending about 110 billion mixed elements, he bought the resources that would allow the golden horned beast to train deities of the world to 16 times its amplitude. Spending 10.2 billion mixed elements would allow it to reach the completion of the 2nd level of deities of the world. He spent about 130 billion mixed elements to purchase 4 fire god origin crystals, each nearly 30 billion mixed elements, as well as a large number of water god origin crystals that were specifically used to supply the space lock arm. Over 10 billion mixed elements were spent as the water god origin crystals were the most suitable energy source for the space lock arm. Spending a total of 300 billion mixed elements, he bought 1 kilogram of Feimo poison. Spending 8 billion points, he allowed the cloud contact vine to evolve from the pinnacle of the official level to the beginner emperor level. There were also some other small expenses. However, the 560 billion he earned this time was almost all used up. Outside the battlefield, 7th Starfield battlefield, within Army Camp 026, on a mountain covered in snow, the silver-armored silver-winged Luo Feng stood on the snow and chatted with the Virtual Universe Company's delivery man. This scene was seen by the 2 other emperors in the distance. Look, it's the human Yang. It's him. The foreign races on the Yinji continent have been looking for him like crazy. I didn't expect Yang to be hiding in the barracks. Ha! Well, the foreign races from the other camps can't find him no matter how hard they try. Even if they know Yang is in the barracks, they can't do anything about it. That's right. You say, this Yang, did he get the altar treasure? I personally went to take a look at the altar and carefully observed some of the traces of battle inside the altar. I think it should be real. This Yang sure got lucky. Look, he's meeting with the Virtual Universe Company's delivery man. He definitely bought many treasures. There's no use being jealous. The altar treasure has been acquired by Yang. What can you do? Yes, I have no choice. We're in the same camp. Who would dare to make a move? However, I dare say, if it wasn't for the army system even within the human camp, there might be warriors who would make a move against Yang. The 2 emperor warriors looked at the mountain range 100 kilometers away. With their vision they could clearly see even the hair on a person's face. They watched and talked to each other at the same time. The news of Luo Feng in human camp 026 quickly spread. After the greedy alien races on Yenji continent found out, they all cursed and cursed. Coward. Coward. This human is actually hiding in the army camp. Bastard. Go, leave Yenji continent. This human is so scared that he's hiding in the army camp. What else can he do? Even the universe knights can't do anything about the army camp. We're just wasting time here. Let's hurry and return to the Star Tower. Who knows, there might be treasures in the tower. Many of the alien races who originally had hope began to feel disappointed. Actually, they had guessed that the human Yang would leave after acquiring the treasure. It was just that they didn't receive accurate information and didn't want to believe it. After all, the chances of acquiring treasures in the alien battlefield were very, very few. Human. Within the cavern, the Purple Bell King's eyes turned cold. How cautious and cowardly. But you hiding in the military base makes the universe's experts think that you are weak, and they are even more certain that you have the treasure. But I know. Your cowardice is a disguise. Purple Bell Emperor had always been wary of Luo Feng. He had interacted with Luo Feng before. During the exploration of the treasure tower, Luo Feng had always been low profile. However, when it was time to take a risk, he definitely wouldn't retreat, and when it was time to attack, he wouldn't hold back. I'll be low profile when it's time, I'll be high profile when it's time, I'll be ruthless when it's time. Human Yang, what are you waiting for? The Purple Bell King said softly, are you waiting for the conditions to be ripe before you make a move against me? If you want to act, then do it as soon as possible. He had a feeling that this human was patiently waiting for an opportunity. The duel between the two of them would definitely come. Luo Feng specially took out a brand new world ring within a world. Boundless grassland. Black-clothed Luo Feng sat cross-legged. His expression was serious as he looked at the black briefcase in front of him. Feimo Venom. Luo Feng said softly. Within this briefcase was the expensive and terrifying Feimo Venom. This time he had spent 560 billion mixed elements and only had 10 billion left, almost completely spent. The most he had spent was a whole 300 billion mixed elements to buy 1 kilogram of venom. Be careful. The slightest leak in this Masha clansman of mine will be finished. Black-clothed Luo Feng took a deep breath. He didn't even dare to handle the venom in his internal world. He was afraid that if he wasn't careful, the internal world would crumble and he would die. That would be a waste. Masha clansman world ring, one world. If this body died, it could create a new one, and this world was also a brand new world ring. Even if this world crumbled, it didn't matter. Open. Black-clothed Luo Feng gently opened it. The black suitcase opened, revealing 10 crystals inside. Each crystal rippled with a soul-stirring purple liquid that flowed slowly like mercury. Feimo Venom, 10 of them, everyone has 100 grams of it. Black-clothed Luo Feng's eyes blazed. Feimo Venom. 1 gram was worth 300 million mixed elements. It was a terrifying concoction concocted by the powerful alchemist expert of the human race, Feimo. That was why it was named after Feimo. This Feimo Venom had a powerful corrosive ability. This concoction was specially concocted to corrode immortal divine bodies. Normally, 10 grams of Feimo Venom could corrode and kill a peak Regis expert. 100 grams of Feimo Venom, 1 vial, could kill an invincible Regis expert like Tru Yen. Its power was so great that it made people shiver. However, its weakness was very obvious. Firstly, it was a one-time use item. Every bit used meant less. Secondly, this venom had to come into contact with the Undying body to be effective. And the universe warriors all wore a layer of armor. The venom had no effect on the armor or metal. Hence it had to break the armor and let the venom touch the enemy's Undying body. Or attack the face that wasn't protected by the armor. Thirdly, the Feimo Venom had to have a medium. One had to smear the venom on the weapon and after it solidified, use the weapon to attack. However, after the weapon sliced through the enemy's body, it was possible that only a small amount of the venom would enter the enemy's body. The damage to the enemy each time was too small. Fourthly, if 100 grams of venom entered Tru Yan's body at once, with his strength, he would realize that the venom was madly corroding his Undying body. He would immediately give up a portion of his Undying energy and force the venom out of his body. Probably only 1 or 2 grams of venom would be able to corrode his body. The rest would all be wasted. Hence, if the amount was small each time, the enemy wouldn't even have time to force the venom out. The venom would have already taken effect. 4 major weaknesses. Causing the Feimo Venom's value to be incomparable to some heaven-defying weapons. Like Kasua's dagger, it could be used continuously. Piercing into an Emperor-level warrior's body could instantly kill him. Whether it was permanent use or efficiency, it far surpassed the Feimo Venom. However, the price was still so high that it was terrifying. Black-clothed Luo Feng flipped his hand and took out a Blood Shadow blade. This was the new Blood Shadow blade he had just ordered. It was made with G-grade precious metals. Its defense was no weaker than the pagoda treasure chest. The Feimo Venom was very weak against metals, hence it was unable to corrode the new blade at all. Of course, this new blade cost close to 100 million points. I've simulated it over 1,000 times in the virtual universe, there shouldn't be any problems. Black-clothed Luo Feng carefully began to smear the Feimo Venom on the blade. The blade was only so big he could at most smear 50 grams of venom on it. After a while, Luo Feng held the new ghost blade in his hand and looked at the purple glow on the blade. He couldn't help but to let out a smile. From today onwards, this blade will be called the Poison Shadow Blade. A ghost blade, a poison shadow blade. Normally I'll use the ghost blade, but in times of need, I'll use the poison shadow blade. I'll have to wait quietly. The golden horned beast needs to train the deities of the world, the cloud contact vine needs to evolve too. I'll have to wait for a while more. LuoFeng's eyes gleamed. Purple Bell Emperor soon. 1 year later, within the internal world. Howl. The golden horned beast raised its head and let out an excited roar. It had finally used up the 110 billion mixed elements worth of resources, training the deities of the world to 16 times. Everything is ready. Luo Feng stood on the grass, his eyes filled with anticipation. Cloud contact vine. Shio. A beam of light flew over from the distance. It was the cloud contact vine with 256 vines. After spending another 8 billion points, it finally went from 216 vines to 256 vines. Its strength also rose from the pinnacle of the official level to the beginner level of the emperor level. If it wanted to raise it to 360 vines high-level emperor level, it would require over 100 billion points. And the success rate was less than 50%. And if it was nurtured from the infancy stage to a 360 vines Undying cloud contact vine, 10 billion points would suffice. One could see, if it was naturally weak in the later stages, the price to advance would be 10 times more than 10 times more. Who? The cloud contact vine flew over. Like an octopus, it immediately wrapped around Luo Feng and merged into his skin. Master. The cloud contact vine communicated mentally, its voice filled with gratitude and excitement. Ha! Luo Feng laughed. The cloud contact vine had accompanied him for so many years, adventuring through life and death situations. So what if he spent more points? He would rather spend more points than to nurture another cloud contact vine. It was just that he wasn't considered rich right now. Along with the pressure from the threats, he hadn't reached the point where he could casually spend over 100 billion mixed elements on a 50% success rate. Space Locking Arm. Luo Feng placed a water god crystal within the Space Locking Arm's energy nest. Silver Armor. A layer of silver armor appeared, protecting the cloud contact battle robe and the spatial lock arm, Wu Yi. A pair of silver wings unfurled from his back. His Sector Lord aura was originally concealed, but the pressure of a powerful warrior spread out. The silver-armored and silver-winged Luo Feng's eyes gleamed as he grinned. Babata. Luo Feng ordered, immediately send a mass mail to all the human emperor-level experts I know on the Sacrifice Flame continent. Ask them to help me find the automaton race's Chi Wu clan's Purple Zhong Emperor. Yes. Sending a mass mail asking for help. I wonder if I can find that Purple Zhong Emperor. Babata said, that Purple Zhong Emperor spread the news. He's probably afraid of you dealing with him. He might very well be hiding. If I can't find him, I'll put up a bounty to find him. Luo Feng said softly. Just like the automaton racist Zweika back then, as long as he spent a few tens of millions of mixed elements, it would cause all the human warriors to go crazy searching.